Hello. Welcome back to DWD in GTA. I hope you missed me. I missed you. Even if it was marginal, I missed you. Let me stop playing. So, this time around, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I did 3 commercial lots pretty much back to back, right? And after Ice Maiden, if I'm being honest, I grew very tired of builds that are commercial. And normally I don't tire of commercial buildings, but after Ice Maiden, I was just pooped. So instead of doing a build, like a build where you start from scratch, I decided to go back into the catalog of old Grand Theft Auto builds that I've done and spruce something up. So I picked up Mirror Park Home 2, probably V2, I don't know which one, and decided to fix that up. And just to give a quick synopsis of how I found it, I was going through the map looking for small houses, and around that time, which was years ago, I found an area called Mirror Park. And I like Mirror Park because it had a lot of small houses. And I didn't even have to go that far in. And I found this cute little house with a gate on the side, some palm trees, a cute little driveway. I'm like, oh, that's cute. So I took several pictures of it. And I previously made an old version in game. Honestly, I made 2 versions. And I did a decoration or a layout of it. And I decided that I wanted to give that a facelift. So I decided to do so. So this is me working on the build. What I did first was just take everything away and just strip it down almost to bare bones. Initially, if my memory serves me right, I had this as a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and in the room nearest the front, it was a room to be split between, I think, a child and a toddler or something like that. But the inside was very drab, so I decided to go for something different. Now, for the past few builds, I've had only like 1 or 2 words to describe the vibe that I was going for. And this one is no different. For this one, I decided to use the keyword bohemian. Bohemian, that's like the overarching word that describes the style that I want to go for in this. And it was interesting for me because I don't really do those kind of builds when I do stuff, because in my head, I like to stick to modern builds, contemporary builds, every now and again, suburban builds. But I wanted to challenge myself with this save and, other builds that I do, because I'm always doing the same thing and it's boring, frankly. Like, I didn't show you the old layout, but believe me when I say it was boring. So I wanted to do something bohemian. So I spent some time thinking about, what bohemian means to me. And what it means to me is things that are thrifted. I would think that, you get stuff that's thrifted. You like colorful things as well. But when it's colorful, I'm thinking of reds and greens, and then you mix it in with earth tones and stuff like that. I would think like a bohemian person. Bohemian person. I would think of a person who's into the bohemian style, likes things that are thrown together, but they make sense. That's just how I was thinking at that point. And I wanted to kind of start with that and kind of run. So I started off with the kitchen because the kitchen is the focal point of the house. I found that really, really nice floor tile that I never use. And I figured that could be like a good eye catcher for the space. And I'm going through trying to figure out if I want to even include those, I forget what they call, like a range hood. Yeah, I want to see if I wanted like a range hood. Bohemian feels like brick. So I had got some brick to put up. What else? things feel open concept to me when I think of bohemian. So I wanted it to be a open concept living, dining, and kitchen area. Even though when I get to the dining, you'll see there's not that much of a dining area. I mentioned earlier that it was initially a 2-bedroom, and it still kind of is a little bit, but not really. I made it more of a 1-bedroom home because really I only want one person to live there. And since there's only one person there, I didn't even bother that much with dining. As you can see, I'm putting it up now. And I think I chose like 3 chairs max. Yeah, 3 chairs max for the dining area because this person is not going to have that many people visit. And I've been mentioning, people earlier. I wanted to say that I had never done this before, but I decided that I wanted to make a character archetype for my builds. And at this specific point, it wasn't like that, but it started to develop as I kept going on with the build. And honestly, I don't know why I haven't done it earlier. I really should have, but I'm still going off this like bohemian point and just running with it at this very moment. But the archetype kind of builds as I keep going. For this kitchen, I'm still using these shelves. I like these shelves, but I think I end up changing them. I might have ended up changing them. But when it comes to the cutlery, the kind of utensils and stuff that they use, this person gets a lot of hand-me-downs, and they enjoy hand-me-downs because they have an appreciation for all things not old, but classic, prehistoric, not prehistoric. That sounds horrible. They have an appreciation for all things retro, and I feel like they think that people don't appreciate it as much, and those kind of things last longer. So they have old plates, old cutlery, and I use those open shelves from Snowy Escape. I think that's what it's from. And I use that to fill up the shelves with pretty much the stuff from, what's that pack with the birds and the rabbits? Cottage Living? Yeah. I used a lot of Cottage Living stuff to put down there. And I really like the way it turned out, but you won't see it for a little while. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with this little kitchen section, because I really wanted the kitchen to be nice. And what happens is I'll take a lot of time to do stuff like this. And I think I told you in previous episodes, I changed my mind a lot, because I want to make sure that I do it correctly. And up here, I got the bright idea to start putting books down there because I didn't have a place for like a proper bookshelf. And with this house being small, I wanted this person, character archetype, whatever, to make good of the space that they do have. So underneath these Snowy Escape counters, there will be miscellaneous things that they like to just, keep down there. Yeah. They keep all their, cookbooks, spare utensils, spare buckets, stuff like that, just underneath that counter that's next to those seats. Come to think of it, I think that tiny living was also a big influence in this, because the cool thing about tiny living as a concept is that people will make multiple purposes for the spaces that they do have. And with this bohemian person, I feel like this bohemian person would be a fan of that idea, because this person wouldn't want to live in spaces that are too big. You won't ever really see this person staying in anything past like a 30-20, because this person doesn't like waste. At least in my brain, they don't like waste. Right now I'm working on this little dining room, but this dining room doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. So all I did was change the colors of the chairs, add a little painting, add a little stuff over here. I am in a way working on the living room right about now. And for the living room, I wanted to keep that idea of using things that are borrowed and thrifted. I feel like I might want to have a thrift shop. in my game somewhere, but I have to figure out how to go about it. So I don't know if I ended up keeping this couch, but I like the idea of where this couch was going, where it was kind of hand-me-down-ish. Yeah, hand-me-down-ish. And I wanted to have an old rug that could have been thrifted, kind of worn. Not that one, but one that was kind of worn, that's been used before, because it still fits into the whole bohemian thing to me. Granted, I told you earlier, I'm more into modern things. I don't know what the heck that stuff is. So I'm just reaching and grasping for straws. But I think that I'm getting the idea down. Sort of. I don't even know. I feel like there's a word to describe what this is. Shabby chic. That might be the word. Shabby chic might be the word. Shabby chic meets bohemian, sort of. And let me tell you something. At different points within this build, I tried to use the bohemian tag or boho tag. That tag sucks. Can I just say it sucks? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It sucks. Because there's not that much stuff in there. There's like this picture, which I love. By the way, I keep this picture. There's like a couple of pictures, a couple of pieces of furniture. It's mostly, what's that pack called? Movie hangout stuff? It's mostly movie hangout stuff. And honestly, it only goes so far with me. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want stuff to look like it's just thrown together as far as color palette, because I'm sorry, I'm a very linear thinker. I like when stuff makes sense. Even though this whole thing as a concept, it's like the colors ain't supposed to match all the time. I just haven't graduated from it yet. So I don't like that tag, but I tried my best. This is like the second iteration of the couch. And the thing that I managed to keep at some point was these little plants, this table set up with the TV on it. See, I changed that couch. I think I changed that couch again. I don't know what the heck I did with this laundry basket. I kept this little thingy though that I put on the coffee table with the books and whatnot, because that felt sort of bohemian, sort of. But something about it just felt off, but I didn't know what to do, so I went back to it later. Then I decided to go into the bathroom and figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with that. I think I changed the variation of the floor tile to make it a little bit different from the kitchen. I think the kitchen is like the dark version of that color scheme. So in here, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. And at this point, I wasn't too sure. But I knew that I wanted to at least have the basics. I thought I could keep that wood tub. I ended up not keeping it. I wanted to be able to have a fully functioning bathroom at this point. I kept that sink thingy or whatever. But yeah, honestly, you can see how much things I'm changing and switching through. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm keeping my spirits up. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. It's a bathroom and it was a mess, and it didn't stay like this because this doesn't function well. Not to me. It does not function well. But I think I started to figure it out within the next couple of minutes. Now with this shabby chic idea, I realized that I couldn't go too shabby, to be honest. Like, I didn't want it to look like a woodsy place, because I feel like it was getting to be like that, like woodsy. And I don't think bohemian means woodsy. I'm not even sure exactly what bohemian means. I don't know. When I think of bohemian, I think of, like, you ever heard of that store where you get clothes, Free People? That's what I think of when I think of like bohemian. But then I don't really get into that a lot. This is the room in the front that I told you was a room for a child and a toddler to share. But I decided that I wanted it to be the workspace for this bohemian person. So at first, I think I wanted them to be a fashion designer, a stylist. I think that's what I wanted them to be at first. So I decided to get a stylus board, try to put in a bookshelf, get a desk going. But honestly, the room is so small that I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. But I decided to just, go with it, see where I could take it, and I took it out. All right, so I'm back up front and I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this kitchen. I found this planter thing. I don't know what it's from. I really don't. Oh, it's from one of these kits. Not blooming onion. What blooming room? I think that's the kit that is from Blooming Room. And I think that light is from Blooming Rooms as well. And I like the idea of it. So I decided to, put it around in different places, but I think I ended up keeping like one or two. I found this little drabby light and put it in the bathroom as well. And I think this is like this ends up being like the general idea of what I wanted the kitchen to be. There's some little changes that happen after, which I'll talk about, but I don't remember them at the moment. So I decided to change the living room color to green. I think that it makes the space a little more stark. Is stark the word I want to use? Bold. There you go. Bold and bohemian. And I still have that picture up there, but I think I ended up moving it. The picture turned out to be very inspiring for me because it helped me further along the archetype of the person. This is the second iteration of that room in the front. And I took away the fashion idea and I'm playing around with wall colors and I'm still trying to figure out how I want it to kind of look. I believe at this point in my mind, I was thinking of having it be an IKEA style office, just like a general office that I could just mix and match. Not mix and match, but what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted it to be an office that was ambiguous. There you go. Ambiguous enough that it could have been anything. And I think that ended up not working either. But I was still playing around for as long as I could. I don't remember how long it took me to do this either. This took me just like everything else. I think on average, I feel like you can bet your bottom dollar that every single build I do takes at least like 4 days. Not consistently. Like I'm not sitting here all day for 4 days. Never that. But normally it takes me at least, and I'm being generous, at the very minimum, like 4 days. For this, I thought about maybe this person being a knitter, somebody who knits. I was thinking that possibly, but I wasn't too stuck on that idea. I don't even know why I chose that table. I like this table, actually. That's why I chose the table, but the table wasn't working. It wasn't feeling bohemian. It wasn't. So I'm just going to drop this and go work on something else. It looks like I didn't go work on something else. So at this point, I found this cool little computer from Cottage Living that I decided to use because it felt, shabby, chic, bohemian, whatever. And I found this table with the wheel from another kit, which I don't recall. But I like the idea of having the table, like both of those tables in that room. And now I'm just testing out lights to see what lights could work because everything has to feel thrifted, earthy, or whatever. I feel like, everything has to feel thrifted and earthy in this space. Oh, I like that light. I don't know why I didn't keep it, but I ended up keeping this tray light with the tea kettle and teacups and stuff like that. This person might drink tea. I don't think I left a tea machine in there though. I don't think I did. I tried to go ahead with that idea where I had all that green stuff and put some greenery on the wall, but don't worry about it. I hung it up because it didn't feel right because it didn't feel right. I changed the room to red and I think I kept it red. And there's some changes that I make to this room. I ended up swapping this stuff around just everywhere and try to make the space feel a little bit cluttered because, I don't know, cluttered feels bohemian. Can you tell that I don't really understand the concept? I mean, past the surface level, I don't really understand it, but it feels cluttered, I guess. At this point, I thought maybe this person could be an artist. They'll have an easel, but this room felt, for lack of a better word, naked. It felt naked. And then I found this candle station, right? And then it hit me. This person should make candles. So I keep this candle station and just have to work around the station to figure out where exactly I'm going to put it. I put a vacuum there. I don't remember if I kept it. I don't remember if I kept the vacuum. I don't. And then I should be going back to that room. What the heck? Oh, okay. I started messing around with the eco lifestyle stuff because another idea came to my head. If you care about stuff being like, used and stuff, you might spend some money as a bohemian person and get like stuff to save on your energy. So I got this washer and dryer, but then I decided I didn't want it just out in the open like that. And then it hit me. It should be somewhere, more convenient, but I didn't have that just yet. So I moved it over there. I went back to the office and was trying to figure out how exactly I'm going to clutter this space up. Like, what else could I add to make it feel just less boring? Because a problem with me is that I'll be so scared that I do too much that I don't do nearly as much as I should. And I got to break out of that in order to do this room some justice. So I'm going through debug, going through just anything that I can to try to find stuff that could fill this space up. I added this frog. I don't know if I kept that frog. And then I went back around looking at frog stuff. I found some frog feeders. I guess frog feeders. I don't know. Then I find some more things to try to fill up the space down here. It almost feels like it has like a country element to it. Probably because of the cottage living stuff, but it doesn't feel country, if that makes sense. Like, there's the element of that, which could be from a nana, or an aunt or uncle, something like that. It could be that feel, but it just doesn't feel country to me. It doesn't. All right, so here's the the third iteration of this desk thing. I changed the table and then I changed my mind. I decided to go do something else. I started to go to the room. Look how chaotic that I build. I swear. We're almost at the point where I kind of figure stuff out, but we're not there yet. I decided to move the washer and dryer to the bathroom because it felt like it made sense over there. And I love the fact that I kept it there, and I just moved the toilet, and I decided to add 2 doors. So I added one on one side, and then one side that leads to the living room, and then I added a door on the other side that leads to the bedroom so that I wouldn't have to go outside, but then also my guests wouldn't have to go inside my room to get to the bathroom. Meaning that me as a bohemian person. I know I'm using the wrong verbiage. Forgive me. Anyways, I added this dresser to the room, and I decided to try to do something to make this room feel just cluttered. Found I found some laundry stuff, decided to hang it around, but I ended up moving it, of course. Can I be honest about clutter? I want more clutter. And I don't mean stuff of varying styles. Just clutter. Now, at this point, I found some, what is this called? I think cross stitches. Yeah, I found some cross stitches from one of my favorite people on the gallery, Catatron 16. And I had this amazing idea to make a cross stitch wall, which to me, this is the focal point of the space. Focal point? Yeah, I think it's like the focal point because that's what I want anybody that visits this place to kind of focus on. And they made, I think, at this point, they made one. I don't know if they've made any more since then, but I thought it was just so cute. And I've never done this before where I've tried to do like a mural, but just with cross stitches. So I'm taking several at different points. This isn't, the finished product at this very moment, but I take several, I size some up, I size some down, and then I go and just position them together to make it look like it makes sense. And it's not supposed to be perfect as far as little ones having a certain amount by them, big ones, just as far as like the spacing goes. It ended up being so pretty. So pretty. I loved it. I think right here, I'm starting to figure out that this is the last iteration of it. I decided to put the desk right there because it's overlooking the neighborhood. So maybe it could be inspiring for the person that comes here and, does their work. I'm thinking they make candles and they do their orders online. I think that's what they do. I added some cat stuff because I decided last minute that this person should have a cat. Is a cat bohemian? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because anybody can have one. But I like that idea, so I ran with it. I went back to the bedroom. I have this painting up here. It's from the same person, Catatron 16, but I got rid of it. Then I had this bright idea to put some plants up above the bed, because this person is probably like a plant person. And I think around this time in my head, I decided that I wanted this neighborhood or this section of Willow Creek to kind of be like a botany focused neighborhood where the people that live here, they have their normal lives, of course, but they also contribute to a community garden, because there's a little garden in the corner behind the 40 by 30, the horizontal lot. So in my brain, these people contribute to the community garden with their own plants and stuff like that. I decided to move these shelves over to the side because it just didn't feel safe. Yeah, it didn't feel safe to me to have all those plants over there, because you never know. What if you like knock your head, or you knock like the bed too hard and all the plants just fall on your head? Like, that's not cool, right? So if you put it off to the side, they just fall onto the side. Like, your bed is still dirty. You still have to clean it up, but at least you have no head trauma. But that painting up there might give you some head trauma. That's not funny. Head trauma is not funny. Anyways, to go along with that idea, I decided to put 2 planters outside. So I have the vertical planters out there. And to add on to the eco element, I added some solar panels up on top to save energy and stuff like that. I don't know if I added the traits for the place to be like eco-friendly. So if I didn't, you have to go in and add it. With the cross stitch thing, I decided to add a cross stitch box. And then I decided to change this kitchen up just a little bit. I think I'm near the end, or I'm just doing final touches. I really am happy with myself and how I did this build, because I really stepped out of my comfort zone to do this. So the build is done, and now I'm on the description, which I wrote over here because, as y'all know, I can't type. So the description is as follows. Mirror Park Home 2 is back, but with a facelift. This home has foregone its starter home days and has taken on a more bohemian theme. I imagine that the tenant makes their living selling candles and cross-stitch work on Plopsy and has a love for all things thrifted. I hope you enjoy it. XO AprilBaby321, aka AprilBabySims, aka me. So now I will put up some pictures just to show you the final look. And I thank you so much for stopping by and letting me talk in your ear for over 30 minutes. I appreciate you. For good measure, just know that this home is entitled 8444 Bridge Street. It is not Mirror Park Home 2 V3. That's just a placeholder name. Once again, this place is called 8444 Bridge Street. It is available now on the gallery, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you so much for tuning in to DWD in GTA. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Bye bye.